Hey everybody, it is Rosie and Aurora the Fox here for a tour that I have been dying to share for a few weeks now. It is the autumn build I built for Cress's Cozy Games autumn challenge, basically a challenge build for the community. And I did autumn at the lake, and this I'm just in love with this area. Sometimes it may sound sad, but sometimes I literally just come up here and hang out because I just love it up here. But anyway, I'm going to walk you around and give you a quick tour of what all is involved in this build. Part of it I've already shown you. We'll start there. Back around this corner is where I have my bed and breakfast tucked in, and it's got a little seating area over here where you can have muffins and tea and a little friendly squirrel that hides. Not squirrel. Listen to me. Snail that hides. He's so cute. I think I want to call him Doug. Anyway, there's a little seating area, a little pond. So part of this challenge is you had to incorporate certain items, and sunflowers was one of the items you had to incorporate. So you'll see a lot of sunflowers. Also the red trees right there, that was one of the items you had to incorporate. So there's a lot of those in this build. But honestly, there's just a lot of trees in general because I wanted it to look kind of lush back in here. So there's a little boat area back in there. I have the little outhouses put together to look like a boathouse, some rope to tie off your boat, but you can't really go back in there because I didn't want that second door of this building to really be visible because it had all the Halloween pumpkins, and I didn't want to do a Halloween build. I specifically wanted to do autumn, so I just kind of wanted to block that off. But I still want you to be able to look back here and see the boats. But yeah, let's keep going. Oh, that's kind of gives you a shot of the build over there, the main house, and a little seating area, which we'll get to. And then tuck over here, that's the well, but that's about it. It's over there. So this was a passion project for me, and it took a lot longer than I care to admit to put this together. But for months now, maybe close to a year, I've been wanting to do a covered bridge. And I tried to do it many times in the main valley, and I just couldn't get it to look right, and I was determined to get it to look right in this build, and I think I did a pretty decent job. I used basically a bunch of the Milan arches put together, and then a touch of magic rug, which it took me a while to get a color that I kind of liked. There's not one that legit matches the Milan awning, but you know, I think honestly between that, the pieces of wood blocking off the water, I think it all kind of comes together. At least I hope it does. But yes, the wood is what brought it together, because I wanted, it didn't look right when you use the edge of the water kit. It just didn't feel right. But fencing was too far away. Everything I used just felt too far away, but the actual logs ended up bringing it all together. But you can walk across it. You can even look out. It's kind of squeezy to look through the little holes, but looking out over the water even really feels kind of cool. Feels like you're immersed in the water. It's just neat. Neat. I was happy with it. Anyway, you come through here. This picnic blanket was another one of the items that you had to use in the build. So you're just taking a picnic out over the water. It's just so peaceful over here. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's so peaceful. This was an interesting part. I hope it comes off, but you had to use, another one of the items you had to use was this awning, this flower covered part, and I kind of wanted it to use it different, so I tried to make a shed, like a potting shed, out of the pieces, and I hope it looks sort of like how I was imagining it to look, so you can come over here and pot your plants and stuff. Thought it was fun. I did end up putting a second house back in here. I went back and forth. For a while I had the new, I guess it's old now, the Star Path house, the witchy house back in here, and it was good, but it didn't feel like the lake. It just kind of felt like a garden area. So I moved it to make the triangle house or cabin or whatever this is called, because it felt a little more like a lake house. And then I have this little ping pong set back in here where you can play. Oh, this little, I don't remember what it's called, but this little arrangement, it was also one of the required items. So you might see one or two of those in this build scattered along. But yes, it's a little hanging out. There's a little reading area where you can sit and read. I try to make a lot of little nooks and crannies of different activities. I wanted to do kind of an outdoor seating area. So this is the pumpkin carving area, because that Mickey pumpkin right there was also one of the items. So I didn't want a pumpkin to just stand out. So it was pumpkin carving at the lake. Autumn at the lake, you can carve pumpkins. I also have a little jacuzzi over here because I thought it would, again, when I go to the lake, go to, on vacation or whatever, I usually like to get a cabin with a jacuzzi. It's always nice. And then over here is the fire pit area, where I tried to use the Beauty and the Beast thing for string lights, because I like the feel of it, just kind of a little tucked in corner. Come roast marshmallows by the lake. Oh, these hay bales were also an item you had to use. So I try to use it more as a blocking off instead of legit hay piles everywhere. And then you can also sit here and paint the waterscape. That would probably be where I'm not even a good painter, and I'd want to sit here and paint, I think. It's just so pretty. Honestly, at just about any point of day, but I thought the sunrise would be kind of easier to see everything, but you still get the good feels. And yeah. Again, looking back over the water. Not as pretty as the other direction, but it's still not a bad shot. And that just takes you up to the house, which is not decorated. But yes, short and kind of simple, but I really had so much fun and such a good time building this. I can't wait. She's got a winter challenge that I'm sure I'll build something and show you guys what I come up with. But this was my Autumn Community Challenge build. And it was Autumn at the Lake. This is probably one of my favorite. I love this bridge. And I really do love this shot. I love sitting right here and just looking out over the water. And I kind of hate that, typically I'm one of the people who use their floating islands for dream snaps. So I kind of hate that I used a floating island to do this, because I love this build so much. I don't want to tear it down, but I don't know how long I can sacrifice my forest floating island. And yeah. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.